As Russia officially invades Ukraine, this is what we're watching in the markets right now. Guys, welcome to Empire Trading Academy. Hit that like, hit the subscribe if you have not already. And let's get into this. We're looking at technicals first as usual, then we'll look at some on-chain. On the lower time frame, we're looking at the 30-minute right now on Bitcoin. And what we're looking at, we know overnight we had a big sell-off due to mostly what is going on in Russia and Ukraine in the official invasion of Russia into Ukraine. Okay, so we did get that sell-off from that big $37,000 demand level that we were tracing around there with relatively little buying off of that. Okay, we broke through that local low at 36,500, and we now have found support at an even bigger demand or a support zone right at 34,500. Okay, we wicked down a little bit lower, but this is where we ultimately found support. Now we're getting something of a correction, okay, back to the upside, getting a little bit of a bounce, which is completely normal. What we're watching right now is this area right at 36,000 and just under $36,000 zone, okay? A lot of times on these bounces, while this is still very micro, we do usually get something of an ABC correction off of these bounces where we have this 3 waves up, okay? And we want to see exactly where we're going to end this correction before we see further downside, okay? Let's think about a few different things, right? So a few different things. We're in this general downtrend. We know that, right? And these relief rallies are completely normal. Now we're coming back down to this demand zone at 35,000, okay, between 35,000 and 34,500. We're getting something of a bounce off of that, but let's think about the sentiment as we're looking at the technicals, okay? So what is going to initiate people's buying here? Right there, we have the Russia-Ukraine situation. Okay, we all on top of already a shaky economic ground. Right, we have the Fed hikes that are coming. Possibly those are already priced in, but the sentiment of, hey, we need to be buying, and the overall market turning risk on and taking positions at these levels right now under the world's situation, economic and geopolitical, it's very unlikely that this holds. Okay, is it possible that this holds and we kind of trace up? Very possible. All right, but we need to look at the grand scheme of things. And remember, we've been looking at the weekly chart a lot, okay? We had this downtrend that we used multiple times, resistance, support, resistance. And then here was a big area that we were watching, okay? And what we saw, as you already know, is this rejection off of 46,000, double wick showing tons of selling pressure, and that sellers were taking back over the market after this relief rally. We closed 2 weeks in a row, both underneath this downward trend line, and that confirmed to the market further downside, and that's exactly what we did. And now, like we've been saying, that it was very likely that we were going to retrace these lows, which is exactly what has happened here. Now, what we want to see, obviously, is a significant bounce off of these levels, right? But more importantly, we would want to see some sort of both geopolitical and economic worries and woes start to be alleviated, right? Those resolutions start to come off of these things, and so sentiment changes, and that buyers start to step in again. Okay, and now, overall, guys, if this does not hold, we're 100% retracing the $30,000 level. Okay, 28.5 to $30,000 level. Okay, is where we're going to be going. All right, we know that that's a massive level. All right, And so that is our next target for the technicals. Okay. If you're not too sure about, what to watch the weekly and the daily time frames, guys. The higher time frames, it will cut out a lot of the noise, and you can see the trends and patterns more clearly. Okay, that's what we got on Bitcoin. We have the NASDAQ up as well, because if we go ahead, we're looking at the 5-minute on the NASDAQ, which opened recently. Okay, and if we look at the Bitcoin chart, we're looking very, very similar to what the NASDAQ is doing. Okay, and so we're getting this bounce. NASDAQ opened, I believe, around 2.5% down, right? Opened the market 2.5% down, and we're getting a decent bounce up, which is exactly what has happened on Bitcoin as well. All right, and so we know that these things are tied. Now, first, guys, let's see what the whales are doing. They're really not doing much. Basically, just consolidating at this level, right at around 586 of these of the total amount of wallets. If we go to SOPR, guys, we're looking at the hourly on SOPR. Okay. And so what we know on SOPR is that in bull markets and bear markets, bull markets, we're going to be trading above this one metric, and on corrections in price action, we're going to be retracing back to this one line, and then bounce up as price action goes up. That's in bull markets. In bear markets, historic bear markets, or in general downtrends, we're using this line now as resistance instead of support. Okay, and so most recently, we have seen bigs after the overnight sell-off here. We've retraced back up to this one metric. And so if it's indication, this would in this general downtrend, this would tend to signify further downside to come. Okay. But we want to see that bounce. Okay. And always price action first. We're looking at these things as secondary and confirmation to what our thesis is based on the technicals. All right, guys. And lastly, we're looking at short-term holder profit to loss ratio, very similar to SOPR. It puts it into this profit and loss metric. Okay. And again, this one is our baseline in uptrends or bull markets. We're using this as support. In downtrends or bear markets, we're using it as resistance. Okay. And so what you'll notice here is that on our latest bump up, right, on our latest relief rally here, what we did is retrace back up to this one metric, use it as resistance, and then got rejected off of that. Okay, so this is an amazing metric because short-term holders are our retail traders, right? And so they're heavily influenced by emotion. Okay, and so we can really map out really the sentiment of the market by mapping these out. Okay, guys, so we're looking for further downside here, but we're going to play each and every level. All right, if you guys have any questions or anything, please let us know. Please, if your trading has been suffering, guys, in these type of markets, please go check out our website. We have a ton of premier trading tools to allow you to take advantage and be able to trade in any sort of market that there is. Okay. EmpireTradingAcademy.com. We'll have it in the description below, and we'll see you in the next video.